Hey, welcome back to the Infest Podcast. This is Brian.
This is Darryl.
And Darryl, this is episode 521. I have the power. That's how it's spelled. I spelled it like that. I spelled it the right way with a bunch of A's and O's.
I see that. I saw that.
So we're going to talk about He-Man, Masters of the Universe.
Did you see my little hello to you in the notes?
Yeah, I did. I just now did.
I was I did that yesterday when you were in it, but I think you got out.
I wasn't actually in it. It was just open on my desktop.
Okay.
And my mouse was in there, but I wasn't. I just had walked away.
Okay.
So I got a MacBook Neo for this side gig I've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday was the first time I sat down at my MacBook Air and used it in 2 weeks.
Oh, because you've been using the Neo.
Yeah, but I've just been using the Neo for everything else too.
Right.
And this isn't commercial. We're not sponsored by Apple, but if you need a new computer and you don't want to break the bank, get the 512 gigabyte with the Touch ID Mac Neo. It's a fantastic computer. So anyway.
Well, you're a walking ad for Apple, so to be fair.
Am I?
Yeah, you are. You've been that way for a long time.
Okay.
No shame.
So let's see. I have two Apple computers in front of me. I have two iPhones in front of me. And I have two tablets. And then if you look behind me, I've got two more MacBooks and an iPad mini. I turned my 2014 MacBook Air that I gave Haley, that I was like, hey, I need that back since I got her a new one. I turned it into a server.
Oh, yeah, I think you were telling me. I think you were in the process when you told me or something like that.
Well, I was trying to do my 2009 MacBook Pro, and it's oh, yeah, we don't recognize this file type at all. This
what is this
SSD? What is this hard drive? We're never loading this. Anyway, but yeah, it's pretty great. Anyway, it was free. I made a free server out of just shit I had lying around the house. I made a little and I had printed a pseudo enclosure for my my hard drives a long time ago. So I have a mini NAS. I just turned my MacBook Air into a mini NAS. Anyway, that's enough for tech talk. Tech talk. All right, so this week we are talking about Citadel episodes 3 and 4. Spider-Noir, also episodes 3 and 4, and then Masters of the Universe. Sound good?
Just the movie.
Just the movie.
Episodes there.
What?
That's no episodes there.
No episodes there. So, although I imagine it's the first of several of these things. So, who even knows? Anyway, real quick, how are you? I'm excited. I get to see you tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. I should have seen my face for a second. What are you talking about? For a second.
The movie you invited me to go see.
Yes.
Which I'm also doubly excited about it because I finished Bloodhounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm all in on the Asian fighting movie, TV shows stuff at the moment.
Yeah.
Dude, it was really good.
Funny.
You're going to like it. And the fighting is awesome. The fight choreography is freaking sick as hell and violent. It's super violent.
Yeah. Right now I'm hanging out with Resident Alien, which is freaking hilarious. I mean, again, it's one of those shows where you know how shows or movies one actor.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that person, if there was another actor playing the Resident Alien, who's Alan Tudyk's character, I would not be interested because he is that. He makes it.
What if it was Walton Goggins?
No.
Really?
No.
Because he can be sarcastic, just like.
But he's not on that level. And
he's a better actor. So
he's not on that level. Not even close.
What are you?
Even though he's phenomenal.
Crazy. You are a crazy person. All right. Well, since you're a crazy person, let's talk about Citadel
and personalities.
and personalities. Okay, so do I have the right one? Oh yeah. So episode 3 is called Chinos, directed by Joe Russo. So Paolo, episode 3 was with Paolo and his kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really liked he was teaching his kid to play chess, and then because he got called into school, and I just like as a dad, like in having like had like, you know, like Haley wasn't a bad kid. She didn't fight, but like there were times where like she would like try and stand up for other kids, which was hilarious. Because you remember how she was as a baby or as a little kid. She was like the sweetest thing ever. And like she thought she was like a hero. And they'd be like, well, she pushed this kid down. I was like, well, why did she push that kid down? Well, that kid was picking on somebody else. So why is my kid in trouble?
Right.
Well, because she pushed a kid down. Why aren't you as a teacher making sure other kids aren't pushing other kids down? Well, there's not enough of us. Cool. You have an enforcer on staff.
Okay. Slight correction. This was episode 4. This happened.
Shit. Sorry. Anyway, well, let's jump around.
Yeah.
But like now I'm kind of rooting for Braga.
See, I can't. But this is what I like about him is, you know, he just had one guy kill all 3 of his brothers. So he's not even an asshole. He's an evil bastard.
Right.
But I like seeing that other side showing, because it's more interesting that way.
Yeah.
Yes. It's also when you have a character like Skeletor, which we'll get into, who's just, you know, he's just evil for the love of the game. And then you have a character like Braga, who's evil. We don't know all of his motives. We know what he wants to do, which is kill I think, was it the Prime Minister of Russia?
Yeah.
But seeing those moments with his son, I really like that, because it's like, dude, you're an evil bastard, but even, you know, just like some evil bastards, you know, like animals or whatever. You know, just watching him dote on his son like he did, like it just shows a different side of him, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. No, he's like Shrek. He's an onion with layers. So anyway, no. So the episode 3 was fun because like they went to the Italian guy's house and they were like trying to get him to help with their Mission Impossible, like complete ripoff. I mean, they did it different already. But
yeah, I thought you would like that, because
I loved it.
All I put for like the most of this episode, and then the first parts of episode 4, it's just basically, you know, a heist plan and seeing how everything's planned out, and then going back and with the music, the quick cuts, you had some of the like small montages. Yeah. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Can we just talk about the use of library stacks as a weapon? I mean, brilliant. Like, because when he walked in and closed it, I was like, you know, they can still get to you from the other sides, right? And then, like, just Hutch is next level. Hutch is my favorite character.
Well, he's definitely, I won't say he's my favorite character, but speaking of Hutch and Celine, that little dynamic.
Yeah, they're great.
And, you know, again, subterfuge. That's, you know, the spycraft is about subterfuge.
Right.
That's, you know, and seeing her backstory. And again, because we're jumping around, and I'm not sure if that was episode 3 or 4, but we see a little backstory of her and why she's his partner. And, you know, it gives us a more of a dynamic, like, because I was like, where did she come from?
Yeah, because she just popped up.
Right. And they did that. They did that just like, it was like one of those things when Dawn just pops up out of nowhere. It's like, Buffy has a sister now? Like, what's going on here? But, and you see, you know, talking about, you know, Hutch is, you know, he's an asshole too. But there's a moment, I think, towards episode in the middle or end of episode 4 where he shows how he really cares about Celine.
Oh yeah.
Like there was none of the airs he puts on, you know, that sarcasm, you know, that, you know, nonchalance. It was, we're not going to tell him because your life is in danger.
I liked when he was talking to Celine about Mason, and she's like, "Oh, he's gorgeous." And he's like, "He's okay."
Yeah.
And how he kept hitting on Nadia, and he's like, "How did you end up with her? She's a 10. She's a solid 10."
Yeah.
I really like the scene between Mason and his mom. I thought that was really, really well done because it led to the scene with him and Bernard later on, talking about his dad, and you understand why Mason is as screwed up as he is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And because again, going back to even season 1, he didn't know that his mom was working for Manticore when he told her all of this information. Again,
Right.
shouldn't have told her the information anyway, regardless.
Yeah, but he
But
trusted his
at the
mommy. He's a mama's boy.
yeah. So seeing that and watching, there were some really good dynamics in these 2 episodes. You had we got the Nadia and Mason at the party where they're basically stabbing each other with words, which is
the best line is married couples don't kiss.
yeah.
I thought that was really funny. Yeah, no, it was great. And I like seeing the 2 of them together because we haven't gotten enough of that in this show, considering like who they are. And because like you think of Mason more with Abby or Chelsea. What's her real name?
Yeah.
Than you do with Nadia. I did like the scene with Nadia and her mom, and then Honey and their daughter. I thought, like, Honey is her mom. I thought that was an interesting scene too, because she was like, "You have 30 seconds. You have 10 seconds." Like, it's like, dang, she's a fucking metronome. She just
yeah.
But yeah, it was. It was a really interesting couple episodes.
And so I didn't realize because we got her so quickly. I didn't see her face in, was it episode 1? But that assassin, Aparna, do you know who that is?
No.
She played Zara in Cobra Kai. From, she's that like real life
the little
martial
karate
artist,
girl,
like that Taekwondo. I think she's
she's Taekwondo, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. That girl's got skills, man. Like, because she was on Instagram. We knew her from Instagram before Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
And
so, I had a problem with her.
Yeah.
And not her skills, not actually her choreography or anything like that.
Wait, are we talking about Zara on Cobra Kai or?
No. No, Aparna. And it's not actually her, but it's how she just, she gets hung out to dry, technically speaking, by Nadia, which that was actually a good fight. That was a one-on-one fight. And I mean, she did have the upper hand at one point, but she got thrown out the window. And that's why she has that scar, that scar around her neck. My question is this. That happens, but she just whips up on 2, she on a 2-on-1, she beats 2 people up. Like, and again, I don't know how tough Celine is supposed to be, but even as a distraction,
yeah,
like I just, again, that's one of those things where it was like,
well, maybe she's like Benji in Mission Impossible. Benji's an agent, but he's still, not tough.
Yeah. So I mean, you're talking about Celine.
Yeah.
I mean, she got a couple hits in, but I mean, what's his name? Hutch was doing most of the damage, which again,
when Hutch blocked the knife strike with his palm, it's like, dang, son.
Yeah. So again, one of the things which I roll my eyes at, but I actually kind of respect about this show is it doesn't try to reinvent things. Because it starts off this whole thing of trying to find Edison, which is a Korean hacker.
Yeah.
Because Bernard put a safeguard in for the mind control thing that Braga wants. And he goes, only 2 people in the world can get it to work. Me and this hacker Edison, which I always find it's funny when they're like, only 2 people in the world can get this done.
Yeah.
And So Edison is, they pinpoint Edison as this Korean billionaire. There is a twist to it, which I pretty much saw. I like the second they, said Edison's here with X, Y, and Z, and you saw what it was.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't mind that. For the show, for what it is, that's the thing. You don't have to always be slick or do a twist to be interesting. It's along the lines of there's no stakes in this movie because so and so's not about to die. It's not going to die. Well, Ethan Hunt is never going to die in these Mission Impossible movies,
which I think was a huge miss because they should have, instead of killing Rebecca Ferguson's character, they should.
Yeah, that wouldn't have worked. Yeah, that wouldn't have worked. But I get where we've talked about this. I get what you're saying. But James Bond, I mean, until the last one, of course. But I don't
look at Daniel Craig as James Bond.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was James Bond in
I get it.
Skyfall and Casino Royale.
Yeah, no, I get it. But I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah.
But the point is, you don't have to be slick, and as long as you just make things work for your world. And every movie, every show has a different world. So you can't compare something that's dumb in one and it happens in the other and it's automatically dumb. So that's what, this whole thing about only two people in the world can do it. The little twist that they kind of serve you on a platter, who this Edison really is,
right? This
hacker. It all works out fine. There was something that happens at the end of episode 4 where I didn't quite see coming, which I appreciate it. And I'm just wondering where we're going with this with Mason and, Bernard and, just this whole Citadel team where they can't quite trust each other because, sometimes people have ulterior motives, whether they be right or wrong. And that's where, we're 4 episodes down. And so we have 3 left.
Yeah.
I think
27.
Okay. So we have 3 left, and I'm liking. So far I like this season more than I did season 1, even though I thought season 1 was solid.
Yeah,
I'm really into season 2 so far.
I will say I also like Richard Madden as an action star.
Yeah,
he should be a much bigger star than he is.
Yeah, I actually, I'm trying to think of what else I've seen him in. I didn't watch it, but he was in that movie on Netflix where he was that pickpocket or thief or something.
It was
like
great.
That.
He was really good in that.
I was about to say, I think you told me it was good.
Yeah, it was. Where'd it go? Yeah, but yes, he was good in it, and I don't remember which one it is now. Is it Bastille Day? Yeah, Bastille Day. Him and Idris Elba. Him and Idris. Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say there's a black. There was a black. There was
a black
English
dude
actor
in it. Yeah. So there was the black English actor. Anyway, but yeah, so I don't know. I'm liking the show. I agree with you. I think it's just a different pacing than the first one. And the first one now, the first season was a setup for all of this, which is really cool. So I think the Russos are doing a good job. It looks like a Russos production. But yeah. So out of 10, what do the Italians have against cereal?
I give it a 7.3 out of 10.
Yeah, I went 7 out of 10. I think we're simpatico here, in that this is good. It's going in a good direction. We're stoked to see, what happens moving forward.
Yeah.
So cool.
Now, even now more than ever though, I'm kind of sad it's ending after 3 more episodes.
Unless it's really good, 3 really good episodes, and it ends shit. Yeah, that's awesome.
Right.
But yeah. All right. So moving on to Spider-Noir. I'll just say, I actually liked these 2 episodes better than the first 2 episodes. My score will reflect that. I do 100% think Nicolas Cage is the only person to play this role. And the part where he like snuck into the place and he's like, yeah, see, I'm a when he was like with the old timey gumshoe like voice that people use, like was just cracking me the fuck up.
And that's the thing about this show. Like Nicolas Cage with his compendium of material and just the variance of acting he's done where it's like he's mailing this in, which or to it's like he's actually not mailing this in. No, this actually works. To wow, he did a great job. To okay,
Right.
he's good.
Right.
Like the ridiculous. I won't even call it the ridiculousness. The I don't even want you like the callbacks to these type of noir shows and movies from the 50s and stuff. His acting is perfect for this.
Right.
It's absolutely perfect for this.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like it's definitely like a Nicolas Cage role, and I think what makes it work, like, because like his voice acting works for sure, but it's his facial expressions.
Yes.
Like it's the surprise, like, you know, I'm Castor Troy. So
I say that randomly every now and then.
yeah,
Just
just to remember your Darryl Jasper.
I don't know. Like, well, I mean, yeah, like movies taking shots at my name, so
I mean,
got to feel good about something.
it's fair. It is fair. But no, I mean, okay. Here's what I liked about the first two. I like the aesthetic. I wasn't crazy about the story. Here's what I like about the 3 and 4. Like the aesthetic is great, and we got to see more of the spider, which I think for me, like I understand he's retired, and and we get the backstory for all of that in these 2 episodes. But I also like seeing more of like Marco and like Tombstone, and then you said he was called something else, but I'm still going to call him Electro. I thought it just moved. The story moved much better in these two episodes, and I really liked Robbie Robertson. I'm liking. I keep wanting to call him Winston. I don't know the actor's name. Winston from New Girl as Robbie Robertson. I think it's great. And the 3 of them together are like a fun, like crime fighting trio.
Yeah, I agree. And again, I liked it from the start, but even every episode I thought got better. Like, so I liked it. Again, I liked the aesthetic and everything, and I think that's what drew me in more than the story in episode 1. It just, again, like I said, I love those type of, this is what worked for me with WandaVision in the start.
Right.
That they're black and white, talking about those old 60s sitcoms like I Dream of Jeannie and things, and, Mr. Ed, all those type of things. So this was the same way. But you're right. Like this is where I think it's like right around here. These episodes 3 and 4 were for me. It hit its stride, and that's where I was like super. I got extremely invested in everything going on. It wasn't just, man, this is a nice little nostalgia trip of these old school movies and TV that I used to like.
Yeah.
But it's also its own self-contained, just great vehicle of entertainment.
Have you watched any of it in color?
I watched the introduction and I watched like 2 minutes of one episode in color. I think it was episode 2 because it's, for whatever reason, it started in color, even though I watched episode 1 in black and white.
Yeah.
And I was watching it and I'm like, how do I change this?
Oh.
And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to watch it. And I was like, hell no, after 2 minutes. I was like, I can't do it.
I did go back and watch his fight against Electro in episode 4 in color, and it kind of works just because of the lightning and everything. But the lightning looks really good in black and white too, because it's actually kind of in color. So, but
Yeah, it's funny you say that because that at one point I thought about going back just to watch that scene as well because I was curious to see how it stacked up. But I mean, everything they've done, it's like one of those things where they tailored it like the way they shot it from the camera angles and the long shots, the color grade, like everything they did is cater to me. It looked to cater to black and white
yeah.
where you can still enjoy it in color. I think once you like for me, it's like once you go black and white, you never go back.
Once you go black and white, you never go back and white.
I said back. Oh,
I know. Yeah, I know that. So, speaking of black people don't know how to talk. Did you hear what LeBron James said? That like he basically did a double negative, saying nobody's gonna tell me no about whatever about being the GOAT.
What?
It's like, yeah, he just used a double negative, like about like the conversation, who's the GOAT, him or Jordan, and anyway, all right. It's so funny. You use like 4 SAT words to start talking about the show, and then all of a sudden you forget how to talk. What's going on here? Are you okay? Did you have a stroke?
What are you talking about?
Anyway.
No clue where this is.
So, never mind. All right. So I love the subterfuge in this one with who was the rat in episode 3, and how Ben has no qualms about getting Winston killed. None.
Oh,
right? Just
Winston.
Yeah, Winston. That was Silvermane shoots and kills Winston.
Yeah.
But not Winston.
Yeah, that's, I mean,
the Winston in this show, not the Winston from New Girl.
Okay. See, that's where I was confused. I was like, wait a minute, Winston. But yeah, I mean, it's, again, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Yeah. And let's be honest, are you gonna a gangster that wants you dead, or a dame that you have an eye for, but you don't know where she's coming from?
Right.
He's gonna take the dame.
I mean, she is a pretty dame.
Yeah, she was in Sinners, by the way.
Oh, she was the woman who ran the grocery store.
Yeah. Yes.
So, that was cool. Yeah, she's a good actor. She's a good voice too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I liked her character. She does a couple things that I didn't like, and non-spoilery, just you'll see soon enough.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's Felicia Hardy, or Cat Hardy, if you will.
Yeah, I was about to say it's Cat Hardy.
She's Black Cat. So, I do like how everything's just a little different. So then jumping into 4, I really like how we get the backstory of why he's retired, around Ruby and all of that, because she pulls a Gwen Stacy at the very end of 3. Like falls out or at the beginning of 4, where she falls out the window and he has to save her.
Yeah.
And he definitely thought about letting her hit the ground.
So when she did that, what I was like, all right, Lois Lane.
Yeah, right. So, but because he saved her by like webbing her, and like luckily she wasn't close enough to the street where she had her skull bounce off of it.
That was Superman 2. She did that.
Yeah. So. Yeah, good thing she did it when he had his powers.
Yeah, that would have talk about egg on your face, or rocks and water.
Yeah, so yeah, no, it was just one of those things. But like I said, I like this one better. I like the direction better. I think the story is like starting to form. The monsters, the Sinister Six.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see who's going to be Scorpion. And if we're going to get a Dr. Octopus.
Doc Ock.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is where, like I said, it picks up, and we still don't know how, what happened with Ben and his powers, or, there's a lot of stuff we don't know, like from the past, but there's also that, we're seeing the story formulate. You're seeing, sides being taken, and Ben coming more out of his web, so to speak, in, as far as, his powers, and, reluctantly using them more than, he would like. And, because he doesn't want the responsibility.
Right.
But sometimes, what? You got to take the responsibility. And we'll learn more about that when we talk about our next show, or our next topic of conversation.
Yeah, and then so at the end he ends up making out with Silvermane's lady, just playing with fire.
Oh, it's not really Silvermane's lady; it's more Sandman's lady.
Yeah, that too. So, but anyway, all right. So, out of 10, a very electric Spider-Noir. What do you give this one, or these two, as the case may be?
7.4 out of 10.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I'm 6.5. Like I said, I liked it. I liked it better. It's still growing on me. So there's that. But overall, I think it's trending upward for both of us.
Yes.
So, but yeah, I don't know. Cool. All right. Should we move on to the main event?
Yes,
right.
we should.
So, He-Man. All right, I'm just going to say this movie was everything I wanted it to be. Every single thing I wanted this movie to be, it was.
I couldn't agree more. Is this one of those things where, not even this movie, but a lot of times and again, when I was just saying earlier about how one thing makes sense in one movie, or one movie or show, doesn't mean it makes sense in the other one, and vice versa. So you have to, just like creators need to know their audience. This is something that the video game industry doesn't understand for the most part, especially the Western developers. Knowing your audience. You also have to know what are you going to see, and having that mindset. Again, a lot of times people try to say they want to go in with a blank slate. Right. You're not going in with a blank slate as much as you try, unless you literally have never heard of a movie or heard of it. So knowing that, what I said, what I told, some people, and I might have told you too, I've told a few people this, what I was looking for was cheesy, over the top, good action, characters that I like, and encapsulating He-Man. And it did every single one of those things, and then more. I had read that the humor was a little bit over the top, in the sense of it's too much. It was a little bit, but not as much as I was expecting. There, like I said, if they cut out 10% of the humor, 15% or something like that, it would have been better. Despite our scores, for me it would have been even better. Yeah, not by much, but just a little bit. Yeah. But this movie, I had so much fun. I was grinning like an idiot, 90% of this movie.
Oh, I agree.
Just because it was
you were definitely
much fun.
Grinning. You were definitely an idiot. Who was grinning? No, I'm right there with you. I was I was laughing. I was looking around. There were some old people sitting next to us, and I was like, this is funny, people. I don't know what's up your butt, but this is a funny movie, and this is really good. Even Jen liked it, which she was definitely a She-Ra kid. But but like, you know, she was definitely into it, and it was making it, you know, it definitely worked for her from the humor standpoint and everything. Can I share my theory? Am I allowed to share my theory?
Okay.
Well, I talked about what I talked to you about the other day about Community.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. So Allison Brie plays Evelyn, who is awesome as Evelyn. But my theory is that the movie is gonna turn out to be the Community movie, 6 seasons in a movie, and it's gonna turn out that like after like the second or third movie, Annie is gonna wake up in her apartment with Troy and Abed having been hit in the head in the darkest timeline, and she just dreamed the He-Man movies. Because like there are times she makes like very Annie facial tics, and it was great, and I loved her. I loved Evelyn. I thought like the her and Skeletor were so great together. But just getting back to it though, so the movie starts and Adam's just a little kid. He's a little baby. Not a little baby, but like, you know, he's little.
No, he was very little. He was small. He was a runt.
He was a wimpy little guy. And then Skeletor attacks, and you know, he goes like, you know, they give him the sword, and they're like, all right, jump through this portal. Like, you know, I don't want to ruin, like, you know, I don't want to spoil too much of the action.
A lot of stuff happens. Yeah,
there's a lot.
Yeah.
And they're like, you can't lose this. The first thing he does when he gets in the portal is he loses it.
Yeah.
So then he lands in Oklahoma City,
which is so random.
So random.
Like, so random.
He lives with some random guy, and all he talks about is finding the sword, but he has a job in HR.
Which, yeah.
And he's really good at HR, but he's obsessed with swords, and they're really like now Adam.
Yeah, looking up swords on company time. He's like, I don't. Darryl reported it. Mm-hmm. I hate Darryl. I don't know.
You were definitely catching strays there for all that.
I know. I looked over at Jess. I was like, why do I got to get strays, man? Come on.
Yeah. But his boss, she was great. It's Shashir Zamata, who's a stand-up comic, was his boss.
Oh, okay.
And she's really, really funny. She's been, what was she? She was in something not too long ago. She's done a ton of TV. But she was just like, now Adam, we're gonna, but at the same time, you just saw the underlying rage in her face.
Yeah. It was almost like, you know, when people are passive aggressive, they have, you know, they might have, you know, a smile on their face, but their words and, you know, that undercurrent of what they're saying is not as friendly as their smile. And that's what she was like, just, and just the whole HR thing in general. Yeah. And it comes back to the HR thing throughout the movie, you know, in bits and pieces, you know, for a nice little gag, you know, running gag throughout. But man, Adam they do a good job of not making him over the top wimpy.
No, because he's a big guy. Like, you know, they also didn't make him small. That was the other fun thing.
Right. And he wasn't like bumbling like Clark Kent from, the Christopher Reeve Superman, which even as a kid, I really wasn't a fan of the bumbling Clark Kent. But he's different in enough. And the thing about this movie is when he transforms into He-Man, which I really like that first transformation we get. And I know we're jumping around, but it's not like he automatically becomes the hero.
No.
Which is good. It's just good because he has to learn some of the lessons of what it means to be a hero, and what it means to be a man. And that's what I love about this movie. Well, we talk about.
Sorry, go ahead.
What? What? No, go ahead. What
No,
are you
no,
saying?
you go. I'm gonna go. We talk about.
What I like, and again, when people say messages in movies, uh, there are two different types of messages. There are progressive messages that the people behind the camera that are putting out there are preaching to you.
Mhm.
And then there are messages of, whether it be something like hope or, standing up for yourself, that there are no political leanings in this, in
Mhm.
those messages, in the second part. And if your movie has a message, your movie should have a message, but people, Hollywood now tries to get too progressive in things where 30 years from now, a lot of these movies, people are going to look at it like, what the hell were they thinking? What does that even mean? What are they doing? But you know what? A message about what it takes to be a man, why you fight to
Mhm.
protect those people that you love. That's a message that you go throughout human history.
Right.
That's a message that 1,000 years later, when, we have cities on, in Venus and Uranus and stuff, that they watch this movie
You're
and they're
gonna
going to be like,
you're gonna have
we
cities in
get this.
Uranus. Wow, you're so gay. Is it hard being that gay to have cities in Uranus? What's wrong with you? You watch too much of this
You're
He-Man
welcome.
movie. You watch too much of this with all the double entendre.
You're welcome, sir. I gave you just a softball right there.
Did you give it to me, or
Yeah.
did you
No,
put
because
it
I was
in
going to say
Uranus?
I was I was going to say Neptune, and I was like, you know what? Let me give you a nice little easy one here.
You're ridiculous. Ridiculous. Anyway, but yeah,
But yeah,
no, I agree with you. So, my favorite thing was actually this movie is from the eyes of a 10-year-old. Like, even when Adam is a grown man, it's still through the eyes of a 10-year-old, because what we learn is these characters' real names are not Fisto or Mossman or Ram Man or Mechanic. They're just the names Adam made up for them in his head.
yeah. Which that makes so much sense.
And the very, very best thing about it is we never learn what they were really called. They just end up adopting those names. And like, when, just brief spoiler, one of them dies, they're like, oh yeah, that guy. And they talk about the trait that he has. They didn't say a name. And like, I was like, yes, the commitment to the bit, right? The commitment to the
Yeah.
gag was so good. I think the girl from Riverdale who played Tila was awesome.
Camila Mendes, yeah.
Yes, Camila Mendes. Tila was a great character in this. And she could have very easily been Tila from the first season of the Kevin Smith cartoon, where she was just better and blah blah blah, and like, oh
Yeah.
I didn't know you were He-Man, but everybody else knew, so I'm gonna go on a lesbian quest now and just be a dickhead. This version of Tila was like, she's capable for sure. She's a great warrior, and at the same time she had to deal with her drunk dad.
Yeah.
And was super disappointed in her drunk dad. And like, even though she talked down to him, she loved him and she respected him, but she was just so disappointed in what Duncan turned out to be.
Yeah. And that's one of those things, getting to Duncan. I'm not sure how I felt about that. And because I've seen it so many times before, most particularly going back to Thor in Endgame, which that was much worse, because you set Thor's character back after all this development through half a dozen movies.
I mean, they set him back in Ragnarok. Let's really not
Well,
lie about that. But I see. Yeah, no, when they made him Fat Thor, I think it worked because the theme for Adam was like, you fall and you get back up again, and he's gonna turn around, but he never does, right?
Yeah.
And so
Oh, yeah.
for Duncan to be so cocky when we first meet him, and like he like gets the Reynor and Marlena and Adam to safety and Tila, and then he just goes ham on Skeletor's army by himself.
Yeah.
And then he fights Trapjaw. And Trapjaw is smarter, stronger, more cunning. And he loses. And the last thing he does is he saves Tila and abandons Randor and Marlena and Adam.
Yeah.
And so for him, like, it wasn't the fact that he lost, right? It was the fact that he chose himself over everything he taught.
Mm-hmm.
And so that, for me, that's why I liked it, because I didn't want him to be like still just like a freedom fighter. You know, he was in the brig with the heroes.
Yeah. So when I say I don't like it, like, I mean the drunk part. Like, him being down and out, that makes sense. You're absolutely right, Beth. And again, I'm struggling with it where in the sense of like, what else could they have done?
Yeah. No, dude, the flask on his like little like armor there
his armor
was great.
Yeah. I thought for sure they were going to use that for something.
Yeah.
Like during the fight.
No, they drank it all.
But yeah. But again, that's a nitpick for me. It's So yeah, not him being down and out, because based on everything he was saying to Adam and his failure, that absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
My thought was just like, did I need to see him as a drunk? And again, like I said, that's an admitted nitpick in the sense of he could have been something else, whatever. But it still works for the movie.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not something I'm going to rail against.
Yeah. Yeah. So, we haven't really talked much about Skeletor and how great Skeletor was in this movie. And I think Jared Leto has really found a niche for him where he can just do funny voices and we don't have to look at his stupid face.
The thing I loved about and appreciated about Skeletor was he was one part just hilarious and another part menacing.
Yeah.
And he reminded me in a sense of Homelander, where you don't know how he's going to necessarily react. There's a couple times where he's just, chilling, laughing, and, being the comic relief, and then on a dime switches.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that, because they could have gone overboard and just made him just a cartoonish "until we meet again" type, which that kind of sucks that line wasn't in there. But
oh yeah, it wasn't. Till we meet again.
But he could have easily gone over the top with that.
Yeah.
And him being more of a cartoonish villain, which again, part of him was that cartoonish villain. But there was that other part that was like, oh, this guy can be brutal when he wants. I made mulch. That's all I'll say about that line.
Yeah. Yeah. So, my favorite scene maybe in the whole movie is when he gets the sword of power, Skeletor, and he raises it up like He-Man did, and nothing happens. And there's the sound effect of the zoom, zoom, zoom.
Yeah.
and then he's getting ready to like just crash out. And Evelyn's like, I know a spell. Just calm down. I know a spell. Like she's the Skeletor whisperer.
Lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like, and she kept the crash out from happening because she knew she was gonna die. And like, her self-preservation in this movie is next level. But I just thought, like, the final fight was cool. Like all the fighting was actually really good in this.
Yeah. So one thing about the fighting, and it took me a minute. It reminded me. I don't know if I told you this, but it reminded me of, what is it called? Into the Spider-Verse. So with Into the Spider-Verse, the way it was shot, it took me about 10 minutes for my eyes to adjust and get with the movement of the characters and that choice of animation. With the fight scenes, like the fight scenes with He-Man, when that first fight scene when he becomes He-Man, it's the action is sped up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And for a second, I'm like, it took me out of it for a second.
It's because you're so used to that Zack Snyder slow down. And that's like most of the action that you watch, because like you just watched like Zack's like 16 movies on a loop. So I get it. I get why it was off-putting for you.
Skeletor was funny. You weren't funny right there.
I'm very funny because your Lord and Savior Zack Snyder didn't make this movie. So anyway,
no, but seriously, no, listen, like, so
no,
it took me a minute to get used to it, but once I did, I don't think it was necessary, but at the same time, it added that air of cartoonish pulp to it.
Yeah.
So even though I don't think it was necessary and everything would have worked without it, it was its own little style.
Yeah.
And it's not like it was it was done all the time.
Yeah.
But when it worked, when they did it, it did work, but it does just, fair point. I could see people getting turned off by that, just because it's like, okay, that's a little weird.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things I did get used to, because it initially took me out of it for a second.
I liked Roboto. I like Kristen Wiig as the voice of Roboto as well.
Okay, that I couldn't think of who the voice was. Okay.
I was like,
and I didn't look it up.
Oh yeah, and then I like how at the end Roboto looked like the toy, with the exposed,
a little revealing, a little exposed.
But so it was really funny too, because at the end, there's a couple really funny things. When there was this scene where the heroes are all around laughing and they've got their hands on their hips and they're like arched back and they're like, and it was just like you would see in the cartoon. And I thought that was great. But then at the end, when everything's cleared up and Adam's talking about like the names he's given everybody and why. And, he tells, like, when Tila's like, well, what was my name? He was like, it was Warrior Goddess. I thought about you all the time. But then they're like, well, did you give yourself a name? And he was like, He-Man. And they're like, what? But then he's like, something happens and he runs off. And he comes back and he's He-Man. And they're like, does he think we forgot?
And I was not expecting that part.
I thought I was gonna die. I was laughing so hard.
Because again, in the based in the animated series, only Man at Arms, the Sorceress, and Orko know his true identity.
Right. Not even Reynor.
So no, nobody else does.
Yeah.
So, and we know what they did in the less said about the Kevin Smith version, the better.
Yeah. There's the one He-Man one where like there's an actual difference between Adam and He-Man, where he's like the kid, the 2001 He-Man.
Yeah, so I'm about to start watching that. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, Amazon doesn't have the first 2 episodes.
They're on YouTube.
Okay.
But I love that He-Man. Like, I love that series. Like, it's very much like Thundercats, the reimagined Thundercats and stuff like that. The sword is awesome in that one too. But I popped really big for Battle Cat. Mm-hmm. With the armor.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah. Oh yeah.
I thought that was great. And then there's 3 credit scenes. So we finally get Orko, which I would have loved to see him in the movie. There's a teaser for She-Ra, which was cool as shit. And then obviously Skeletor is going to survive. Or is he?
That brought me back to, that was actually the first post-credit scene I had ever seen in a movie, was the original Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
When
not
Skeletor.
Predates.
I don't know which one I saw. No, I saw because I'm pretty sure I saw Masters of the Universe in the theater. I did not see Ferris Bueller's Day Off until later. So yeah, I forgot about the Ferris Bueller one, but I saw Masters of the Universe first before I saw Ferris Bueller, because I think it came out in '86, Masters of the Universe '87, but it wasn't like came out in '86 and then it was on video, it was on digital 3 months later, like things are now. Didn't work like that back then.
I didn't see the original Masters Universe in the theater.
Yeah,
it was VHS for me all the way, baby.
VHS. We had beta, then we had VHS.
That tracks that you had beta. Anyway, all right. So
not beta. beta and VHS, buddy.
Yeah.
Get it right.
You definitely were a beta.
Get it right.
Anyway.
Get it.
So
Beta was much better picture, though.
it absolutely was. The VHS one, because porn used it, because you could adjust the speed and get longer videos at a shorter or at a lower resolution.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Right.
out of 10 shining, dangling participles, clean up your dirty mind. What do you give this?
8.45 out of 10. This movie is my highest rated movie of the year. It is right up there with Project Hail Mary, which I rated it, I think, at 8.35. Project Hail Mary is a better movie from top to bottom, no doubt about it. But this movie's, as much as fun as that one was, this movie's just a little bit more fun for me.
So I gave this one a 3 out of 10. 8.3. Sorry. 8.3 out of 10. I agree. I think Project Hail Mary is higher for me.
I actually don't know what you gave that.
Notes. I can tell you real quick. I gave 8.32. So just barely. So Michael is my highest rated movie this year.
I still haven't seen that.
Well, it's on. You can buy it right now on video.
Yeah,
at 8.8.
Yeah.
So that's my highest rated movie in like the last 10 years. Anyway, so go see this movie. Go see it on the biggest theater you can. Go see it in the theaters while you can, because I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to be in the theaters for very long, because it's sitting at $61 million worldwide.
Yeah, which is kind of, that sucks, man.
Yeah, it's not great. But hopefully word of mouth, and I think this is like a cult classic. I do think it's a little long at 2 hours and 20 minutes. They could have cut some of the stuff in the Forest of Wonders out. But yeah.
I said it like at least 10 minutes could have been cut out, like tightened up a little bit.
This could easily have been a 2 hour movie with no problem.
Yeah.
So
205, 207.
Fine. 1 hour and 56 minutes.
2 hours and 12 minutes.
90 minutes.
3 hours.
TV miniseries. Do you need me to
Biblical
go lower?
epic.
Episode of The Mandalorian.
War and Peace.
The Boba Fett introduction episode of The Mandalorian. It was only 19 minutes.
Roots.
All right, on that note.
Conta.
Okay, Toby. Nobody gets that joke. So, anyway.
I know. We're just getting blank looks now.
But you do, and that's important. Anyway, on that note, we will be back next week. We're going to go see The Furious tomorrow, and we're going to talk about it on the podcast.
Yep.
To be fair, I don't know what the movie's about. I haven't watched a preview, but you asked me to go, and when you ask me to go to a movie, I say yes, and I have a present for you.
Yeah. You didn't watch the trailer?
No.
Oh.
So, but I do have something that I meant to give you in December. So, the last time we saw a movie together, which was Sisu 2 Electric Boogaloo. All right. So, yeah, there's a bunch of shit that came out on demand to buy on Apple or Amazon today. So, go check it out. On that note, we will see you all later. Darryl, any last words?
Nope.
All right. Well, on that note, remember, be infamous. The Infamous Podcast is recorded in Kings Mills, Ohio, just north of Cincinnati. You can find new episodes every Sunday on Apple Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcast, our website, or anywhere podcasts are downloaded. This show is hosted by Darryl Jasper and me, Brian Tudor. To find more information about the show, visit us at infamouspodcast.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Infamous Podcast to keep up with the show. We also have a Patreon page, patreon.com/infamouspodcast. We have some great rewards for our patrons and are looking for help to grow the show. to bring you more of the content you want to hear. Music for this podcast is provided by Michael Henry from meetmichaelhenry.com. So, whenever you're listening to us, have a great day, night, evening, weekend, whenever it is, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. Later.